Building a home recording studio is a huge project, isn't it? It takes months of planning, research, and preparation, doesn't it? Well, most people think so, but the truth is, getting started is far easier than you might imagine. All you need is a few basic essentials. These are simple, and keeping it simple is a wise decision. Why simple is best? The fact is, not only is it possible to start off with just a simple studio, it's actually preferable. Because just like with any hobby, by attempting too much too soon, you get overwhelmed, you get discouraged, and you eventually quit. And all the time and money you invest is wasted. So to avoid this fate, just keep it simple. Going cheap doesn't mean getting something poor quality. So now let's look. How cheap is too cheap? Since home recording can be expensive, musicians often search for the cheapest possible solutions to recording their music. And that's fine, except there is such a thing as too cheap. While it is technically possible to build a working studio for as little as $400 to $500, there are low limits to what can be accomplished in such a studio. The perfect first studio for newbies consists of the following 9 items: a computer, DAW and audio interface combination, studio monitors, 1 or 2 microphones, headphones, a few cables, 1 mic stand, a pop filter, and optional ear training software. What you have is a simple working studio, perfect for anyone just starting out with home recording. And here's why: it allows you to start ASAP with a minimal investment in both time and money. More importantly, it's the perfect foundation to build upon later as your skills mature. Now let's discuss more about each item on the list. 1. A computer. When starting a studio from scratch, the computer is the biggest expenditure by far. Because as common wisdom states, ideally, you want the fastest one you can afford. But these days, virtually everyone already has a computer of some sort. And virtually all computers are fast enough to at least get you started. So in the beginning, regardless of your budget, I recommend using what you have for now. 2. A DAW audio interface combo. The DAW, Digital Audio Workstation, is the software used to record, edit, and mix music on your computer. And the audio interface is the hardware used to connect your computer with the rest of your gear. These 2 items can either be bought separately or as a combo. But your first studio, here's why a combo is recommended: it's one less item on your shopping list. It's cheaper than buying them separately. It offers guaranteed compatibility and tech support. 3. Microphones. As your studio matures over time, you will eventually amass a collection of dozens of different microphones, each for different purposes. For now though, all you really need is 1 or 2 to get started, and the ones you choose will depend on the instruments you plan to record. 4. Headphones. When you're just starting out, most of your time is spent recording by yourself. Which is why in the beginning, all you really need is 1 pair of headphones. For studio purposes, there are 2 very specific designs considered standard. Closed-back headphones for tracking, which offer optimal isolation at the expense of lesser sound quality. Open-back headphones for mixing, which offer optimal sound quality at the expense of lesser isolation. While open-back headphones are considered more of a luxury, for your first studio, closed-back headphones are a necessity. 5. Studio monitors. Despite the fact that many home studios now do the majority of their mixing on open-back headphones, Traditionally, mixing has always been done on speakers, or as they are commonly known in pro audio, studio monitors, or near-field monitors, compared to consumer speakers, which are designed with various tonal enhancements. Studio monitors have a much flatter frequency response, which provides a more neutral, uncolored sound to objectively judge your mix. And while they can get pricey, there are still plenty of affordable options for beginners as well. 7. A mic stand. While many beginners assume that all mic stands are the same, the truth is, a solid mic stand is one of the most worthwhile investments a new home studio can make. However, since mic stands can get pricey, and most beginners are on tight budgets, a cheap, reliable stand is more than adequate when you're first starting out. 9. Ear training software. On a typical list of home recording essentials that you'd find on the internet, ear training software is definitely not one of the items normally included, because the truth is, you don't technically need it. Not now, not ever. More than any piece of gear you might buy for your studio, the one thing that will make the biggest difference in the outcome of your recordings is your ears. And while you might believe your ears are pretty good already, having a good musician's ear is not at all the same as having a good sound engineer's ear. As musicians, we learn to recognize notes, intervals, and chords. But as sound engineers, we learn to recognize bands of frequencies. And until your ears develop a basic grasp of this skill, you won't really know if things are sounding good or not. Which is why, if you start training your ears from day one, the speed at which you improve will skyrocket.